We brought you on specifically to talk about the MVP race because there's so many balls up in the air right now, and things change so quickly with all these injuries and whatnot. Gemma, I'm gonna let you kick it off because there's a lot of different topics to cover. So, what do you want to know?
What do you think about Aaron Judge? That's, I feel like, what everyone's talking about is, can he play his way out of contention? What's going on there?
I think he can play his way out of contention. You know, every time there's any kind of argument about a season-long award, there's recency bias comes into play, right? Like, people think what happened in the first half doesn't count as much as what happened in the second half, which is actually backwards because the first half, like the All-Star game, it's not really a half. It's like 60% of the season before you get to the first half break. But he's been really struggling for like a solid month now. He's hitting like a $180 since the All-Star game. And while I completely refute the idea that the home run derby broke him, that's what everybody likes to say, because you can't say that and look at Stanton and look at Blackman. And these guys have been awesome. But if he goes into the end of the season and he's on like a 75-game strikeout streak or whatever it's going to be by that point, hitting a $180 since the All-Star break, I do think he can play himself out of the conversation, which is unfortunate because for the first half it seems like he was a given.
Right.
It seems to me right now there's only 4 people in the AL conversation. Right?
Okay.
Judge, Altuve, Chris Sale. I know people don't like pitchers, but Chris Sale's been unbelievable. And Mike Trout. And I know he got hurt, but I will always vouch for Mike Trout basically until the end of time.
I feel like that's well, I want to know more about that, is that even though he came back from an injury and was out for so long, like, what does he have to do to solidify his place in that race?
Keep playing the way he is. And I know that sounds simple, but he is on a Hall of Fame trajectory, and he's having by far the best season of what was already like the best career we were going to say. Look, seriously, if he continues playing the way he has and does this through the end of the year, it's going to be like one of the top 10 seasons in baseball history. And I know he missed a bunch of games, so the counting stats, won't get up there.
Right.
Some people won't vote for a guy who doesn't come from a playoff team, which I think is absurd. It's ridiculous. However, one of the other counter arguments to that this year is going to be that the Angels played 500 ball while he was hurt.
Right.
Which is also, fine. But without him, they're not anywhere near the playoff race. So I think that if he keeps playing the way he is and Aaron Judge kind of falls apart, and nobody wants to vote for a pitcher, then it's really going to be him and Altuve. I think he's got an opportunity, Mike Trout does, to still make it if he comes up at the end of the year with like this unbelievable season and everybody else has some amount of flaws. I think it's going to be a really tight race, but there's still a chance, and I would be thrilled to see him win. He should probably have won like 5 in a row.
Yeah, probably.
I want to see, I know it's only 3 would be like an insult, but that's Mike Trout.